Hello fellow classmates of Integration of ICT in Instruction. So this is not for my students, obviously. I'm going to show you what I might use to, instead of a slideshow, to introduce the unit to the class or the assignment to the class. I've never used Screencast-O-Matic before. This is the first time, so we'll see how it goes. I normally would use a better microphone. I'm just using the built-in mic on my laptop, so it might sound like I'm in a phone booth or like a tin can. However, what I would do for the students is they would have written instructions, written handouts, printed handouts. All of this information and the handouts, the links would be posted onto my website so they can follow along at their own pace. If they were away or working at home, they could get all the work done. But what I would do first is give them the link of where to get WinPlot. I would have my own link on my website where the file is hosted in my Dropbox or Google Drive. But just for the purposes of this video, if you wanted to get WinPlot and mess around with it, it's excellent software, it's free, it's quite small. You would go to this web link here and you would just click on the file to download it. So you can normally would download a file. You can see I've already got it downloaded here. Extract it. It is one file that is less than 2 megabytes, and it's just one exe file. They can run this from a USB stick, an SD card, their iPod, plug it into a computer. You can run it from any machine, any Windows machine. What I would then do is the students would have already graphed by hand. We would have done investigations with table of values. It's an important skill. But then I'm going to show them how technology can help. So technology allows us to do a lot more in a lot less time. Oh, excuse me, sorry. So I would explain how to do WinPlot. I'm just going to fly through it here to give you an idea. Again, I would do it much slower, much more detailed, and give them an idea of how to set up their window size here. In the assignment, I recommend to go from 15 to 15 on the x-axis. Sorry, negative 15 to 15 on the x-axis and negative 15 to 15 on the y-axis. Set up their grid so it looks nice and we can see the values. Make sure that it's square and we're ready to start graphing. I mean, they would have this in their assignment, what to do step by step, and I would also go through a tutorial of how to do things. I just set up my axis right now. I just set up my view. Set up my grid, entering equations. So they would have that information and I would just quickly show them so they get a visual. So if we wanted to enter equations, I would explain we're doing explicit f at x equals, which is just the same as y equals, so we don't put the y equals in. And for this assignment we always start with x squared. And we can put in x times x for x squared and get the graph. Or I could put in x to the exponent of 2 and get the graph. Now I asked them to always make x squared first with a width of 3 color red. So that's the graph we're comparing our transformations to. So there's y equals x squared, the basic parabola. So to get more equations, they can go equation explicit or they can press the F1 key, which I explained. And I'm going to put in a couple graphs. They're investigating what that number out front of the x squared, the coefficient of x squared, does to the graph. So they would put in numbers greater than 1, put in numbers less than 1, 1/2 x squared, and they would go through, whoops, 0, I went to the wrong thing there. Let me delete that. So they would put in 0.5 x squared. Now if I made a mistake, I would obviously stop it and re-record it, but for the purposes of this I'm just going to plow forward here so you get the idea. So let me put in a couple more. Let me put in negative 5x squared, and let's go with negative 1/10 x squared, and they get the idea. They see all these graphs with a. Now to get this into a word processor is quite simple. We can just copy and paste. You can save a bitmap image and have a little more control over it. I'm just going to copy it to my clipboard, jump over to Word, and paste that in. So you can see it's big. We would go over how they can sort of resize. It's important to work with images in a word processor. how to crop it to sort of maximize your page space. And they might also, we talk about putting the image behind or in front of the text so we can drag it wherever we want to make it look nice. So to give you an idea of what it should look like, or to give the students an idea, I always stress to them that we want the using technology allows us to make it look very professional. This is much better than handwritten chicken scratch with hand-drawn graphs. These are accurate, it looks good, it's clean. Part 1, the conclusion. Part 2, the conclusion. And they work their way through. If they want to label their graphs, we talk about how they can label their graphs and describe them. And at the end of the day, they get an assignment. End with a word problem, real world word problem, and away they go. It looks great, it's professional, and they see how technology can help us do a lot more in a lot less time. So inherently it doesn't help, doesn't make the learning any better, but it certainly helps us save time and supports the learning. So there you have it. Hopefully this screencast-o-matic works out. I'm going to try maybe publishing it to YouTube. There you have it. Talk to you soon.